Hi. Martha Creek here. Continuation of the Science of Mind commentary based on the text, The Science of Mind, a philosophy, a faith, a way of life. And as a gentle, friendly reminder, this is to look at what you believe, and for me to continue to look at what I believe. And I'm sharing the commentary on that as I contemplate, reflect, inquire. MarthaCreek.com to contact me. This is from the chapter on immortality, pages 377 to 379, and the book is not necessary. So it opens conversations with what is your experience of, your belief in, and for me, what am I willing to believe? What am I willing to make room for? Is there spirit communication? Is it possible for the spirit to communicate, the spirit aspect of us? In the flesh, in the body. Many of you have heard it with, oh, I was thinking about them and they called me. Just this morning, another colleague said, did somebody ask you to call me? It's like, I really was wanting you to call me. We haven't talked in months. So what would you describe that? Like somebody knew, somebody caught a vibe. And I'm not asking you to believe it. Just what do you believe? Not to mention, like, what's possible when the spirit leaves the body, or the body leaves the spirit, or there is separation, like the body's burned, put in the ground, whatever we do with bodies after the so-called life is over, the breath is finished, the expiration date has occurred. What's left? What happens in that consciousness? So I do not presume to know anything about this, and nor do I presume that you do either. So there's universities full of research, universities full of data, universities full of scientific labs about what happens in the brain, in the body, in the spirit, and in unknown phenomena that people have a way of, through out-of-body experiences, describing that they were actually still partially in the physical, even though they were declared dead. And that there's direct experiences I've with mediums and such, people that have another sense, that can hear beyond the physical, that can see and receive information and data, that in no way, no how could they have known anything about some of the things that's come through. So something is communicating, and it's the thing itself. It's us in another form. And what are we afraid of about that? I've got to look at that. Like what would cause me to have fear there? For me, I say I have a healthy skepticism, and I don't want to lose that skepticism. Of course, that's also based on what I've read and know, that there's people that actually falsify their powers to do this and falsify even what's presented and other things. I know in my own direct experience, there's been cases where they couldn't have falsified. So it would be interesting to know whether the spirit of the, quote, supposed dead caused certain physical manifestations experienced by some of us. Reading now from the author Ernest Holmes, one thing is certain: these manifestations are either caused by those who are supposed to be dead, or they're produced by those still in the flesh. This is self-evident. Since they occur, something must make them happen. Whether the manifestations are caused by the so-called dead or by the living, The agency used is either a mental body or the direct power of thought operating upon objects. What if either one of those was okay in the potential field, in the possibilities field? So someone in a discussion with me this week asked me that had I watched a Netflix series called Surviving Death. And I don't typically watch series. I don't know much about them. And she felt I would be open to that. So it's a docuseries, a documentary series, about 5 or 6 episodes. If you're interested and want to check it out further, that gives kind of time to the potentiality of this, the effects it's had on certain people, and some poignant stories about people's direct experience of this, including scientific research, data, statistics, if that's important to you. What do you believe? Blessings.